Okay, Rio here, and I'm going to give you a video for how to submit your first MyITLab Windows Lab 1, but this will also serve for all the subsequent weeks that come anytime you have a MyITLab assignment. So just to be clear, you need to watch the how to register for the MyITLab. And then you get into MyITLab. The code for our course is listed there, so you got to make sure you do that, because until you do that, you can't work on this item. Okay, so let me go ahead and click into this. And now it'll say in here, right, you're going to do this work, and this can get a little confusing, but it's okay. You got this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a lab that's in another software. So in this case, it's the MyITLab. So we have a link here for you to get to there. And then I have, and the video you're watching is listed below. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to MyITLab by clicking that link. I'm already in there in another tab. And then I will show you how to submit your work, because in this case, you're going to actually submit the assignment, and the assignment's going to give you an option to choose a file. So I'm going to show you how to create that file. Okay, so now I'm going to move over to MyITLab, and I'm in here. And then what you're going to do in here, once you get in, and again, you have to register and go through that process, right? You'll go to course materials. And inside course materials, as we move into the following weeks, and it takes just a second here, you're going to see more content. Right now, because of the start of the semester, you're only seeing the first one, which is Windows 10. So see this? We're doing the Windows Lab 1. Right? And so this, and maybe, it says Windows 10, but it's the same thing. So in here, if I click into here, you will see two things, right? You'll see a training and you'll see an exam. And in this case, you can see I completed an exam. I didn't complete the training. Now, training is not required. It is definitely suggested, and it will definitely help you do better. So in this case, if I've taken the exam and I'm like, you know what, I know Windows, I can do it. You can totally do the exam without the training. Okay. But if you want to do a little better, so in my case, I might go back and do the training. I'll be honest with you, I also just had a new tab open and I Googled some of those things, but I will tell you that I know MyITLab over time, as we get into more of the deeper apps like Word and Excel and PowerPoint, is that it is good to do their trainings because they'll show you how they want you to do something. Okay. So once you do this, and by the way, once you click on this is where it's really important to have the pop-ups allowed, because what will happen is if you click on something and you don't get this pop-up right here that I'm about to get, right? If you don't get that, that means your browser is trying to protect you. Now, what I'm going to do for a second here is I'm just going to click behind. And up in here, if you just don't see anything, you're going to get a little icon that shows you that your browser is blocking that pop-up. And by the way, MyITLab will attempt to make this better by telling you as soon as you get in, you've got to do that step. So that's the first thing. And I'm going to go back now. Oh, let me just go. Actually, I'm going to go Window. I'm on the wrong one. I want to go into my browser. I'm going to go back to my simulation. So what you do is you work through these 26 items. Now remember, what you're graded on is the exam, but do the training, it'll help you. You can also do this. You can view all the items in here. After you work through the first time, if you don't like, this is what I was saying before, if you don't like the score, do it again. So what you do here is you follow the instruction, right? Now, in this case, it doesn't really matter, I happen to be on a Mac. You can't do these on tablets or phones, I think, right? I haven't tried it, but so even though I'm on a Mac computer, I can still do this because this is just a simulation. So what you do is you walk through and you do what it's telling you to do. Now, again, you might wonder, well, how do I know how to do that? Well, that's why you do the training. You can also reset it. You can, should be a save in here. If not, I'll make sure I put that ability. You can also, by the way, if you have any problems with the keyboard, you can also bring up a virtual keyboard. That might make sense. It also shows you how your bandwidth is. So there's a lot of information on this screen, right? And so there should be, by the time you see this, you should have a save option, because you might start it, because look at this, there's 26 questions. You might start it and then want to come back later and finish it. So I'll make sure we do that. So anyway, once you get to the last one, it'll just close out by itself. Now I'm going to do something I recommend not doing unless you're right, have a save option, but I can because I've already completed it. Okay, hopefully you got that. So now what you want to do is you're preparing now to say, listen, I've got to submit this. So now that you've completed it in MyITLab, you're just showing me in Canvas that you completed it. So you come into MyITLab, you click on here to show that actually, I'm sorry. I'm glad I did that, because actually that's not right. I'm going to go ahead and close this. There was another right here. See these three little dots? You click on there and you do view submission. So under view submission, and this is great too, because there's so much good information here. Look, it's actually thinking I tried another, because that's the thing, you can attempt it as many times as you'd like up until the due date. You click on this, and what you do is you get a detailed list. So I can actually go back and I can figure out which one I missed. Now again, right? I'm on one, I could look at two, the ones I got wrong. I can launch the training. I can look at the steps. This is great. So in one sense, you could try the exam, look at the feedback, and try it again. So there's multiple options, but really what we're here to do is to do a report so you can submit it. So check this out. And again, play around with this, see all the different options. But ultimately what you're going to do when you're ready to submit the assignment is you're going to say print. Now, I have noticed that if you don't have a printer set up on your computer, there may be some issues here. So make sure that on your computer you have a printer set up. And then we're going to say PDF, not doc. It actually will pretty much keep all the detail here as far as selections, and then you're just going to hit download. So when you do that, it takes just a minute for it to create a file, a PDF file. And what it's going to do as soon as it creates the file, again, it's going to take a moment here. It's actually going to download it to my computer. So what it's doing is creating the file, downloading it, and then when it's done, we'll move over here to Canvas. It's actually just telling me, hey, you've done multiple files. I'm going to go ahead and allow that, which is cool. And it might be a little hard to see, but if you come down here in the bottom, there is a file. Now, I've used Chrome. I recommend Chrome for all these assignments. I could actually do this. I can view all, but I happen to know that that goes into the download folder. But let's go ahead and do view all. And then it'll say, oh yeah, here's the file you want. Now you can see I did it before and I just wanted to look at it. I'm going to look at it. Oh, there's the actual file. Now, why do I want to know that? And these are good things to know, by the way. Let's make this a little bigger. So it's sitting in my downloads folder. Okay, now once I know that, the next time I do this, I don't have to come all the way back through here. All I know is I'm going to hit that. It's going to save it to wherever I have that set if it's somewhere else. And so now I'm ready to submit that file into Canvas. So let's come over here. I'm going to choose a file. And again, I'm going to remember, oh yeah, that's right. It was in the, and the nice thing is it'll actually remember where that's at. Now in this case, you could rename it if you want, but in this case, you can just hit open here, right? If you have any comments, you can just go ahead and submit the file. Now, again, I know this is a couple steps, but you got this, you can do it, and it'll show you that you submitted it, which is great. And then I will go in there and look at this and grade it. And then you'll see the grade in Canvas. I hope this helps you out. I'll talk to you later.